What is up, everyone? What is up? What is up, Godslav? What is up, Avatar Desto? And what is up, Oranjo? How are you guys doing? Is my mic? Interesting. Interesting. My mic usually is not as loud as it is, but it should be fine. It should be fine. Well, I'm glad you are able to actually catch this live, Avatar. I was going to live react to the manga like an hour later from now, but then I realized an hour later would be when the anime drops on Crunchyroll, and most people would probably be watching that instead of this live stream. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go live like an hour earlier. But yeah, happy holidays for everybody who is or was celebrating it. New Year's is right around the corner. But I'm wishing all of you guys happy holidays once again. Yeah, the chapter is short. I'm looking at the page number. I'm like, only 11 pages? Can't say I am too surprised, considering Fujimoto went back to weekly releases and not bi-weekly releases. And by doing so, we got like a really short chapter. Again, I'm not really surprised. Let's just see. Maybe this is gonna be a very short stream. Maybe I'm just gonna prolong the discussion until the anime drops so you guys can watch it, and then we'll wait, like a couple of minutes before I actually do my live reaction. But yeah, it is what it is. Just saw the ending 12 of the anime. I have not seen it yet. I mean, of course, to no one's surprise, of course it's gonna be Eve, because they're like the only guys left who has not made the ED yet, right, from the people who were announced. But I have not seen it yet, so don't tell me what it is or how it is or how good it is. It's probably good, right? Some interesting stuff revealed though. Okay. Short but solid. Classic Fujimoto. Next chapter will be released next week as well. Yeah, I've also seen that as well. So January 3rd. Let's see how the weekly releases of Chainsaw Man will favor Fujimoto. Like, I'm more of a fan of the bi-weekly release. Let's just see. I was also doubting myself if I want to read this chapter today or the week after, but you know what? It's coinciding with the final day of the anime. Let's just do it, yeah? Hello, Alex. This chapter confirms that the leaks were real, so be careful. Ooh. Yeah, somebody told me like last week there were a couple of leaks concerning like a few chapters into the future and such. And the previous chapter kind of confirms the leaks. And I guess this chapter confirms it even further. I have not seen the leaks, by the way, so I don't know what I'm expecting. So I'm staying the fuck away from that. That's for sure. A very satisfying scene is in this chapter too. Ooh, interesting. I've been pretty good in terms of spoilers. I have not been good in terms of Attack on Titan spoilers when the manga was released, because like that was like a whole different like hectic situation. But so far, when it comes to Chainsaw Man, I've been pretty cool and chill about it. Like I have not seen any leaks or spoilers whatsoever. Maybe that's also because I have not actually went to like the Reddit or whatever. Like, I've been staying the fuck away, unlike Attack on Titan, where I was like pretty involved in like the discussions and whatever. So maybe that's that. I learned my lesson. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day as well. All right, I think let's just get this started. I'm gonna read through it, then we'll probably discuss it until like the anime is released. So, chapter 115. There we go. Chapter 115. High schoolers these days. Of course, we're picking up where we left off with with Mitaka all alone in the hallway. This is the aquarium from hell, she says. Once you go in, you will never get out. The hallway goes on endlessly and the clock hands do not move. You cannot flush the toilets and the fish started rotting in their tanks yesterday. Yikes. Yikes. Like that is a sight to behold, right? An infinite amount of fishes just rotting away. We'd have escaped by now if you just had not broken that cell phone. Oh, interesting. So, Devil Hunter Club president / student council president is outside along with Mitaka. You are Chainsaw Man. Why don't you do something? She says. I'm Chainsaw Man? The fuck you talking about? What are you talking about? The starter on your chest. Oh, that. Okay, we're gonna. Okay, interesting. We're gonna get to see more of this, right? Because the dude himself was like self-proclaiming, like, hey, look at me, I'm Chainsaw Man, right? So the fact that he is saying like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, right. He knows he's a fraud. He knows he's he's self-aware about it. He's not like going on in this stupid act for far longer. Like he knows. So what is up, right? What's going on? Some people are saying like he's probably working together with the Famine Devil, with Fami, or whatever, right? We don't know yet. We don't know. But something is definitely up, and we do not know like what is his deal, right? Why is he going on like this? That's a surgical implant. Oh, okay. It's one of the reasons they say I'm the man who comes closest to Chainsaw Man. What? President of the Chainsaw Man Society's high school chapter. Runner-up in the Chainsaw Man quiz show. Owner of every piece of Chainsaw Man merchandise. I can't blame you for thinking I was him. He's a fan. He's just like me for real. Nah, I'm just kidding. Interesting. So you aren't Chainsaw Man. If I were Chainsaw Man, we could have broken out of this hellhole in no time. He laughs. Send me, Chainsaw Man! I'm here! SOS! SOS to Chainsaw Man! That's your cue, Chainsaw Man, says Yoshida to Denji. Isn't there something you can do? I was able to kill the devil last time cause it came at us. This one's nowhere to be found. My hands are tied. Can't you do something? Yoshida has a phone. You had one too? Unfortunately, a signal alone is not enough to get a call out. It feels like it's been over 3 days. If help hasn't arrived by now, I'm guessing time inside the aquarium has stopped. Okay? Almost similar in wording from like the Eternity Devil arc from like from part 1. The others all seem to have given up. To be honest, even I've made peace with death this time. I don't know if I should be like really looking into that. I'm sure it's a. I'm sure it's just a line. It's not like Yoshida's having. Not. I'm overthinking it. I'm overthinking it. Nah, it's just a line. It's a common line. Komini's brother slash sister, whatever they are. I'm just gonna call them they. I'm just gonna call Komini's sibling they them, because honestly I have no idea if that is a boy, if that is a girl dressing as a boy. That's just Komini's sibling. Let's just call them Komini's sibling for now. Do you think Chainsaw Man would eat it for us? The Death Devil. I don't know, man. I don't know. You tell me, Yoshida. You tell me. That's just Fujimoto going like a Death Devil. You know, coming soon. Yoshida is really sus. Yeah, lately he has been pretty sus. First time we see Yoshida, standard, right? Goes to the same school. Most of us would assume he's probably looking out for Denji or going undercover or whatever. But lately he's been like popping out in places that seems like too coincidental, like here. Like, oh hey, what's up? I was coincidentally here looking at the fishes because I was interested in the fishes, right? It's not like I'm tailing you guys or whatever. And he is awfully looking out for Denji, looking out, quote unquote. Of course, I'm being overly cautious, right? Considering Chainsaw Man's trope of, hey, this person seems to care about Denji. Oh no, oh shit, no, that was a complete lie. They want to kill Denji. I'm sure Yoshida's fine. I'm sure it is. I'm sure he's fine. Odd that he knows about the Death Devil. I mean, it's not really odd if you think about it. Like, what is the number one thing that most humans would probably fear? Death. You know, like, it's pretty obvious there's probably gonna be a Death Devil. If a Tomato Devil exists, then the Death Devil is like pretty reasonably, you know, plausible, right? It's just a matter of like, do they know about the Horsemen of the Apocalypse? They don't know that. I think that's, at least that's how I view it, right? We as an audience know that, you know, control or conquest and then famine and war, right? These are all correlating to the Horsemen, but they themselves, the characters, they don't know about it yet, right? Maybe Makima does, maybe Yoru does, maybe Fami does, but that's because they are the Horsemen, right? Or Horsewomens. Whereas the main characters or the characters that are humans, you know, like, I'm pretty sure they don't know about it, right? These devils probably exist, but they don't know if they actually are, you know, are part of the Horsemen, is basically what I'm saying. Haven't trusted him since he killed those brothers in the alley. Dude just doesn't sit right with me. This is kind of interesting because, like, in the beginning of part 2, when Yoshida was introduced, everybody was like, hell yeah, Yoshida! Squid dude! Let's go! And now we're like, he's kind of sus, not gonna like, why is there a switch up? Anyways, do you think Chainsaw Man would eat it for us, the Death Devil, he says, with a smile. Denji's like, huh? Weird. Okay. The others are all starting to lose it. You holding up okay? Denji goes, talking to Mitaka. Interesting place that Mitaka is in. Like he is, like she is in the display. The aquarium. I'm hungry. So eat some fish. I can't eat fish. Oh yeah? Pause. I'm sorry for asking you on a date. There we go. It's my fault you got mixed up in this. You won't understand this, but I was trying to turn you into a weapon. But even cornered and starving like this, I just can't do it. Not because I don't have the guts, or because it goes against my principles. The real reason I can't is because I have no idea what is right or wrong. My life is just one long string of attempts to avoid making mistakes. I like that. That's why. That's why I'm a total bore. Interesting. Good. Good. Character development for Mitaka. She realizes that, like what she's doing is wrong. She's not really doing this out of, like love or whatever. Like she's using him. Sorry, I'm using you, Denji, and almost turned you into a weapon. Haha. Apology, please. But it is also because of like how she realizes that her entire life is just, she's not trying. Like, not only is she saying that she has no idea what is right or wrong, but it's also the fact that because she has no idea what is right or wrong, she's not actively trying to do something right or wrong. She's just actively trying to do whatever it takes to make no mistake whatsoever, whether it is the right or wrong thing to do. As long as it is not a mistake, that is basically her life plan, right? And all of this because of like, past trauma and whatever, right? Because of what happened in the past and how much, a simple mistake could spiral out into her not really being confident in herself. At least that's how I see it, right? Mitaka is like somebody who is not confident in herself, and every time a mistake happens, she just feels like, yeah, that's entirely my fault. Blames it on her, feels guilty about it, as if making a mistake is something that is unnatural and something that is a burden and something that is a curse for her, even though everybody makes mistakes a lot. It's just that if you treat your mistakes as something that is really, really grave and terrible from the past, then chances are you're gonna live through that to the future, and you're gonna view every mistake as something that is, unforgivable. It almost makes you a perfectionist in a way. And if you are a perfectionist, then a simple mistake could, make you spiral out of control and you go like, ah, shit. Well, I made a mistake. Everything is ruined. 0 out of 10. I cannot continue this. I have to move into I have to go someplace else. I have to make something else. I cannot continue this. You know what I mean? That's like the vibe that I'm getting with Mitaka. It's the vibe that I've been getting from Mitaka, and I'm glad that Mitaka is kind of realizing this and just letting the audience, like, hey, that's how I feel, right? So, interesting. Matt trying to get canceled today with these pronouns. I don't wanna get canceled, dude. Twitter is gonna. This is why I'm not using Twitter anymore. Like I'm gonna get canceled for this. Looking back at my reaction to Kobeni's sibling reveal last time was kind of funny, because I was like, Kobeni? And then I'm like, wait a minute, Kobeni is too old for this. Sister? And then and then I look at it even further and I'm like, wait a minute, she's wearing boys' clothes. Brother? And then I go, wait a minute, it could be her sister, because she could also be cross-dressing, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna say anything. Kobeni's sibling. Period. Anyways, moving on. I think this is gonna be like the final pages of the chapter. Denji going in to the display, to the aquarium as well, sitting with Mitaka. What are you muttering to yourself about? You can't eat fish, right? Ta-da! Ever tried starfish? Smooth. Denji, let's go, Denji with the Riz. You can't eat seafood, right? You can't eat fish. What about starfish? They're not fish. They're starfish. Pretty sure they're still seafood, Denji, but hey, I respect it. I respect it. Trying to make some light out of this moody and dark situation. Mm. Mm. Just like Reze. Yeah. Yeah. The Asadenji ship has set sail. It's this is great though, right? This is great. Why? Because in the beginning, at the start, it's Mitaka going like, "Wanna go on a date with me?" Even though she's not really serious about it. Like that's just what Yoru wanted, right? And even Denji's like, uh, yeah, sure, I guess. Like it comes from a place of hesitation from Denji and a place of lies from Mitaka. But now, since they are stuck in this together, right? Classic common trope, by the way. Common trope, right? People get stuck in a place they can't really get out, so they have to bond and they have to, stick together because, like, who else are they gonna be with? Ended up realizing, like, each other's, like, ups and downs, positives and negatives, slowly learning about one another, and eventually started to care about one another and ultimately fall in love. That is the common trope, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong. I think with this it's like pretty natural in a way. It's natural because um it aligns with Denji's character, right? Especially with what we have seen him went through this whole time. Like Denji probably sees something. He probably sees himself in Mitaka in some way, not in every way, but in like some way, right? Especially when it comes to like the guilt tripping and whatever, right? Denji with his father, for instance, right? And of course with Aki and whatever, like a part of Denji, blames himself for what he did, right? And ultimately he realizes that, hey, it's fine to accept your mistakes and move on, right? And it's also fine to accept that some of those mistakes aren't really your mistakes at all. It's just that you got stuck in between and you feel like it is your mistake. So in that regard, Denji can see himself in Mitaka, probably sees that, probably understands her situation, and tries to cheer her up. I like this development a lot, actually. Won't be surprised if she pukes after. No. No way. No. But if we're going for plot beat to beat from part 1, that is basically the next step, right? So we're currently in the Eternity Devil remake, if you want to call it. And after this is the whole like bar situation where everybody bonds together and befriends. So I'm not even. I won't be surprised if that is the case, actually. Shit. Knowing Fujimoto, he's probably going to try to at least reference that in part 2. Like, hey, remember the puke scene? Should I let my Reze sink? I mean, we haven't seen her since. I cannot see them as a couple yet. I mean, it's not about them being how do I word this? It's it's not about seeing them as a couple. It's seeing where the narrative structure is going, which is leading them to become a couple. Are they a couple now? Hell no, they just met. But can I see them becoming a couple in the future? Yes. Or at least, at the very least, really, really, really close friends. Denji really needs non-romantic relationships in his life, but that's the thing though. His desire from the very beginning is to have a girlfriend. In the beginning of part 1. That was the first thing that we know of in terms of like his true goal, right? When he was talking to Pochita. Before I die, I want to have a girlfriend. And almost the entirety of part 1 is essentially Denji getting girlfriends, quote unquote, and all of them ultimately being bad. So structurally speaking, it makes sense for part 2 to actually give Denji what he wanted, a girlfriend that isn't bad. I think this is more of a sister dynamic, honestly, like a placeholder for power. I don't see it as a brother and sister dynamic at all. Nayuta and Denji, absolutely. If Fujimoto shows Nayuta at all in part 2, Fujimoto, did you forget about did you forget about Nayuta? Hello? Where's Nayuta? Is she safe? Is she all right? Any updates? I mean, again, we were still very early on with this relationship, so I really have no idea where Fujimoto is going to bring this. But see, here's the thing, right? You're talking about brother and sister dynamic over like actual relationship. You're talking about Fujimoto, somebody who made Fire Punch, where if you know, you know. So I'm not. That doesn't mean anything. Sibling relationships doesn't mean anything for Fujimoto. like it doesn't. It doesn't. Let's be real. It does not. If the Death Devil appears, we will see all the horsemen. Do you think this can be the last part of the series? Yeah. I mean, we talked about this before when part 2 was starting and we see the War Devil, right? Most people back then would assume Chainsaw Man will be 4 parts, right? With each part, we focus on a different horseman. But the fact that Famine Devil, already appeared right now, and also the fact that Yoru being the War Devil isn't necessarily the main antagonist at this point. At least I don't see it that way. Like she is a Deuteronomist, right? Like she and Mitaka are the main characters of part 2. They are the main leads. They are the one that are like moving this whole story forward. So obviously we need an actual antagonist, and we can't have Denji be the actual antagonist, as much as that would be fucked up, but also kind of makes sense, right? But it makes sense for the story, but it doesn't make sense in terms of like the overall structure to have Denji as the main antagonist against Yoru and Mitaka, because why would you want to alienate your audience, right? So obviously you need to have an actual main antagonist. Famine appears. Perfect. But because Famine also appears right now in the second part, it also opens the floodgates of like, okay, what if Death Devil just appears immediately? Now that is becoming a possibility, right? So Death Devil being like the final endgame boss, I can totally see. But when Death actually appears is up for debate. Like, Death can appear next chapter for all we know, or they can appear later on, maybe after Famine dies or got defeated, or whatever plot progression we have. But I can totally see Death becoming like the final boss of the whole story before everything, comes to an end. University arc? Maybe. I mean, we don't know. I mean, part 2 is the high school arc. Part 1 is public safety. We don't know where. Well, I mean, if we're going for university, then we need to have like at least like a 2-3 year time skip, which I don't know if Fujimoto wants to do. Also, tangent. Who was the one who killed Yuko? Dennis. It was Dennis. We refer to Sussy Imposter Chainsaw Man as Dennis. Dennis is actually a thing now. I'm just referring that as Dennis. Because that ain't my Denji. But if we're saying like Famine is the one who killed him, nah. Well, I don't know. It makes no sense for Famine to do it though, because Famine was the one who resurrected Yuko. So why would she? Like, there's no agenda here. There's no reason. Why would Famine kill Yuko when Famine's first appearance was Famine going like, I don't want to make my sister sad. I'll do anything for her, so I'm just gonna resurrect this person because it's clear to me that this person means a lot to you. So why would you go, okay, now I'm just gonna kill you? It makes no sense. Next part will be about the primordial fears. I don't know. I mean, Fujimoto, we don't even know if he has a plan. I don't think we're gonna be focusing on the primordial fears yet. We're probably only gonna get like stuff similar to that here in part 2, like if they go back to hell or whatever, and we see like the darkness devil and whatnot. But I don't think they're gonna be like a major focus. I think if anything, if Chainsaw Man wants to be more concise and more like focused, then just focus on the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I think like at that point you already have your direction and an idea. You don't want to add more to it that just makes it all the more convoluted and weird, especially when all of that stuff you have not even fully fleshed out or explored yet. Animix play is no more, big blow for many anime watchers, to be honest. Why would you want to watch on a browser? Just download it. Is this some sort of peasant joke I'm too torrent enough to understand? Will we meet the Blood Devil again? I want to. I mean, it's set up. We are bound to meet the Blood Devil sooner or later. We just don't know when. But it is set up, right? From like the very end of part 1 that was set up. We're just not seeing it yet because we're still focusing on Mitaka and her struggles. So probably once these two kind of bonded more, and Denji's like, oh, you wanna stay at my home for a while, maybe like a certain situation where it's raining and whatever, like they don't know where to go, and Denji's like, my home isn't far, we can go there. And that's where we finally get to see Nayuta and everything else. And from there we can go forward with all of the stuff that was pre-established in part 1, because now we're focusing on both Denji and Mitaka, if that makes sense. Or maybe Fujimoto's just like blue-balling us and like, yeah, Nayuta, Blood Devil, Kishibe, actual Kobeni, Who? Oh, no, we don't do that here. If Amy has the ability to bring back devils, I can see her bringing the Blood Devil back. But she doesn't need to bring the Blood Devil back. Like it's the cycle of reincarnation. Like the Blood Devil is already here. We just haven't seen her yet. The same way as like the Control Devil just got reincarnated as Nayuta. The same way as the Bat Devil just appeared out of nowhere in part 2. Like it doesn't need a separate entity, in this case the Famine Devil, to do it. Every woman trying to kill Denji has indeed stayed true even till now. Yeah, that is a problem. Which is why I think Denji and Mitaka, whatever relationship they have, whether it be close friends or an actual relationship, you know, as a couple, is great for both Denji and Mitaka because they both can learn from each other and they complement each other. Denji finally able to find somebody who actually cares for him, right? And Mitaka realizing that the Chainsaw Man isn't as bad as she thinks he is, right? But what about Yoru? I don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know Yoru's like what she is gonna do once she realizes that Denji is the Chainsaw Man. I think for Mitaka to realize that Denji is the Chainsaw Man, it's more loose and lenient, as in Mitaka's probably gonna accept Denji for who he is. Whereas Yoru will probably go against it and like, no, Mitaka, we need to kill him. That is why I made you the contract to begin with. That is why I am here, right? And that leads to more conflict between Mitaka and Yoru, and I think that's gonna be like the end game for part 2, which is Mitaka battling against Yoru and their own separate ideals, and learning between how do I describe this? A battle between like your own selfish desires, right? Because I can totally 100% see Mitaka dying in part 2. I can actually see that happening. Mitaka sacrificing herself so that Yoru cannot kill Denji. Of course, that solely depends on Yoru's character development and what Fujimoto plans for her to be, right? Is she gonna be the War Devil from beginning to end, as in like her personality isn't gonna change? Because we are seeing that personality shifting and changing. Like, she is a goofball. like we adore her, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, her goals are set and wants to be met. So it's a matter of, can she change? Although from past experiences with other horsemen, that's gonna be pretty hard. The Eternity Devil seems to be working for her, so maybe the Blood Devil is what I'm saying. Oh. Possible? Yes. But that's just it. Is it possible? Yeah, I mean everything is possible, but we just don't know for sure yet. The one thing that's bugging me is that Fujimoto's crazy in the story trademark is bound to happen, and then the entire pace of the story is bound to change. I don't know how, but it will. See, that's the thing though. Fujimoto himself, right, as a writer, he has... This is why I think Chainsaw Man Part 1 and Part 2 complements each other in a meta way, because with Part 1, everybody agrees that it is unpredictable. Like, everything goes. It's crazy. It's all over the place in a good way, right? You're not going to, you know, like, oh, you're not going to predict what happens next. Oh, you wait. Oh, you think that's gonna happen? Haha. You would think so, right? But because Fujimoto has set the story up that way and set audience expectations that way, that gives Fujimoto more freedom to just flip it around and just tell a very simple story that almost has no, like, almost no twists and turns at all. Not saying that that is what Fujimoto is trying to do, but I'm just saying, if Fujimoto wants to make a more it's not really the best word to describe it, but I don't know any other word to describe it for now, but if he wants to make a more linear story where things are progressing and going in a way that is predictable, but in a good way, in terms of like, okay, if this happens, then this happens, then that happens, then that should happen, as in structurally it follows a formula, he can. He absolutely can. So right now, everything seems normal. It could end up staying normal until the very end. Maybe that's the twist. Fujimoto's like, oh, you think I'm gonna do you think I'm gonna do the crazies? Did you not read my previous one-shot? Listen to the song where I clearly say, don't overthink it. Did you not understand that at all? Like Fujimoto's grinning, right? Like, these people think I'm gonna do the crazies. Again, we don't know. We don't know. Especially after Fujimoto made his 2 one-shots, like one Look Back and Goodbye Eri. Like, anything can go. Anything can absolutely go. Those 2 one-shots has proven that Fujimoto can make something that is very simple and structurally formulaic, at least the way I see it, work really well. Like, at the end of the day, I look at those 2 one-shots, as masterful as they are, I still see them as formulaic in terms of, like, their structure. Like, yeah, of course this is gonna happen. Of course this is gonna happen. Even if during the moment it was, like, shocking or unpredictable, but once you go back, they're like, oh, wait a minute. No, yeah, this is exactly how it should be. Whereas with Chainsaw Man Part 1, I felt like, wait a minute, why the fuck is this happening? And even then, going back, I'm still like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Fujimoto's just on drugs at that point. Episode is out, I'm gonna go watch it quick. Wait, really? Pretty sure Crunchyroll isn't out yet until like a couple of minutes left. Part 2 so far has not been that crazy. Exactly. Part 2 feels more akin to his latest one-shots than it has with Part 1, right? Where it's more character-focused and character-driven instead of story-focused and story-driven, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but when I was reading Part 1, I wasn't really into the characters until later in the manga. It was mostly, okay, the characters are going here and there, but it's mostly because the story is driving it forward, not the other way around. In Part 2, I feel like the characters are driving the story forward. In Part 1, I feel like the story is driving the characters forward. Because in Part 1, Denji is a character who isn't really taking control of the whole story, because like that's the whole point. Like, Denji was never in control in the first place. It was always Makima. Makima's the one in control. Makima's in control of the story, right? Until at the very end when Denji breaks free of that control, and now he is. Which leads directly to Part 2, where the characters are the one that are moving the plot forward. Right? Yoru is telling Mitaka where to go, she goes. That's a character telling another character where the story is going. Same thing with Denji. Denji, we're not even seeing his main POV. We're just seeing him as a side character. But even then, we realize and we see that, yeah, Denji is he's just living the moment. He is just doing things the way he wants to do it because he is taking control of his own story, right? I have a theory that all the horsemen are trying to help humanity in their own messed up way. Well, yeah, that's basically what the previous episode of the anime was talking about, right? With Kishibe and Makima. Remember that Kishibe said that the more human a devil is, the friendlier towards humanity they are, and the horsemen beside the eyes are completely unrecognizable from a regular human, so they will be the friendliest devils to humanity. We can kind of confirm that, because although Makima's objective was pretty messed up, she really wanted to help humanity, and maybe the other horsemen also want that as well. Not wrong. It's definitely a plausible theory if we're only looking at Makima. Can't say the same for like all of the other horsemen though, but it is possible. I mean, even the thing is with Makima, she doesn't even like the other horsemen. She's like, nah, I war, famine, death, like these are all concepts that needs eradication. She literally says that. She does not give a shit about her sisters at all. So maybe that's telling of what these sisters' personality is. Maybe Makima's onto something. Maybe these other horsemen are actually pretty fucking evil. If Makima, somebody who wants to make a better world, considers her sisters, the other horsemen, as objects or beings that are contradicting her ideas and ideal world as obstacles, then maybe, just maybe, the other horsemen aren't actually good and don't want to help humanity either. You know, just a thought. Just a thought. I think War just wants to avoid being obsolete. She hates being forgotten. I mean, Makima literally, well, it's not really Makima, it was actually Pochita or the Chainsaw Devil, right? But, you know, when something like World War II and the Nazis got wiped out of existence and nobody remembers them, like the most deadliest war of all time, of all humanity, just gone from the minds of people. Yeah, I mean, if you're War Devil, then I'm sure you're pretty fucking upset that happened, right? I love how Yoru, despite being the War Devil, sometimes acts like a child. That's the personality that we all love. Like she throws in temper tantrums. And that's like one thing that a lot of people have a theory on, and that is like because Yoru is with Mitaka, like their personalities are clashing with one another and almost bleeding with one another as well, right? Like that's a theory that I personally love, where Yoru at the start was like all controlling and all commanding, right? Remember that, right? Chapter 99 was it, when they went to school for the first time and Yoshida appeared for the first time as well? Remember that? Yoru just immediately takes control of Mitaka's body without like any consent whatsoever. You know, like she was like, Mitaka, you're not really doing me any favor. I'm just gonna let you take control of this, okay? And that is exactly what happens, right? War takes control. Yoru takes control, right? But then, if you look at the latest chapters where, when Yuko, became the Justice Devil and wreaked havoc on like the school and whatever, Yoru stepped back. He steps aside. She lets Mitaka handle things. She goes, Mitaka, I trust you. She's letting go of command. She's letting go of control and lets Mitaka do her work, her job, and whatever. So clearly there is sentimental development for Yoru, and clearly she was not the Yoru that we first met before. So again, it goes back to what I was saying before. Whatever Fujimoto has plans for Yoru and Mitaka in the future, there has to be conflict. It's just that we don't know how this conflict is going to be resolved. Because both of these people, both of these characters are slowly growing and developing from beyond who they were before. Mitaka growing more confident. Yoru, we still don't know for sure, but we definitely know that Yoru is slowly growing more attached to Mitaka, even though she is, at the end of the day, her human host, and she can just let go and get out of that body if she wants to, right? And just kills Mitaka at that very instant. She hasn't done it yet, so clearly she cares. In a way. War is very weak right now. I wonder if those devils that she lost to Pochita has something to do with it. Let's see, Bomb Devil, Gun Devil, the World War II Devil, the Nazi Devil. I wonder why. I wonder why War is very weak right now. What if Asa and Yoru somehow fuse personalities? That is also one of the probable endings that I can see for these two characters. Because one thing for sure, as far as we know, Yoru cannot leave Mitaka's body. Because if she does, then Mitaka is dead. We know that. At least that's what Yoru tells us and her, the audience. That is information that we cannot fully trust. But if we do trust it, and if that is true, then yeah, Yoru cannot leave Mitaka's body. If she does, then Mitaka will die. So the only other option is, 1, Yoru is actually lying and she could just leave right now and leave Mitaka, her human body back and not bother her anymore. Or 2, they have to be codependent for the rest of their lives, kind of like Denji and Pochita. The only difference is Denji and Pochita is like 2 completely different situations as far as we know when it comes to Mitaka and Yoru. It hasn't been fully explained yet, so we still don't know. We still don't even know like what they are. So again, it's still up for debate, but we can all theorize for now. That would be pretty cool, Xander, if Asa does have control in the morning and Yoru comes out at night. Because of their names as well. Like that is pretty cool. Like if that happens, that is pretty cool because that also correlates with the meanings of their names. Yeah, helping defeat Chainsaw Man and you will get your body back. But that's the thing though. We know for sure that they are not going to defeat Chainsaw Man. That's not gonna happen. Like that's not gonna happen. Obviously, Denji cannot die yet. Maybe at the end of the final story, but like, for now we know that Denji will not die. Like he has protagonist powers. He has protagonist plot armor. He's not gonna die. They're not gonna defeat Denji. Which goes back to my original question, right? What's gonna happen between Mitaka and Yoru? Because obviously they're not gonna defeat Denji, so unless Yoru drops that whole That's the thing though, that's kind of like their contract in a way, so it's... Imagine Asa sleeping and Yoru is just watching her sleep all night. Isn't that every night so far from Mitaka and Yoru? Isn't that already a thing? Like, I'm pretty sure that was already a thing. Can Yoru even technically turn Denji into a weapon? Wouldn't that be a straight win? I mean, for that to happen, Mitaka needs to be close to Denji. And this is literally their plan. right now, even though they don't know it yet, right? They don't know Denji as the Chainsaw Man, but their plan right now is to turn Denji into a weapon to defeat Chainsaw Man. It comes from a place of animosity, I would say. You know, like why can't she just turn the Chainsaw Man into a weapon? Like she wants him dead. She wants him like completely dead. And from the back of her mind, it's like, well, how can the Chainsaw Man and I ever be together, right? Like, because we hate each other, then even if I turn Chainsaw Man into a weapon, it's gonna be a very weak weapon because it comes from a place where we don't have any connection whatsoever. In fact, it's the complete polar opposite. It comes from a place of hatred. Denji will catch them all in the end. He got control of three. He got control of 3 more left. Chainsaw Man is Chainsaw Man is actually just a harem where Denji will soon get control of, you know, like 4 different women. Wait, no, Nayuta is no, I take it back. No. Nayuta is a minor. She is young. Nope. That is wrong on so many levels. I was like, Denji has control of Makima. Yeah, but then wait a minute, no. Makima's dead. Nope. Denji killed Makima and called it an act of love. It'd be fitting if he died because of an act of love too. Mitaka killing Denji. Possible. It is possible, but that would just mean like the story would be over. So I don't know. I don't know how long Chainsaw Man is gonna be. I don't know what plans Fujimoto has. Maybe this is the final part of Chainsaw Man. Maybe there's gonna be part 3. We don't know. Fans be speculating Makima will make a return someday. Hey, even I am speculating it. It's not something that is like impossible to happen, right? Because right now, the thing that I want the most right now is to see Nayuta again. Like please, let me see her again. I want to see their dynamic. I want to see what Nayuta is up to, right? I'm just imagining Nayuta being like the class president in kindergarten, right, where everybody's like bowing to her, like she's, you know, like she's like their queen or whatever. But like, again. Remember what Power said, right, in part 1? Find the Blood Devil. Befriend the Blood Devil. And maybe, you know, I'll remember and I'll be Power again, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Right? Turn her into Power again, right? Turn the Blood Devil into Power again, right? So that kind of opens the door of possibility that devils can retain past memories. So, what if, theoretically speaking, Nayuta remembers her past life as Makima? Will that happen? Probably not. But it will make for some pretty fucking incredible twists, that's for sure. Because one thing that I, again, like seeing Nayuta is one thing. Seeing Nayuta with Yoru or Fami is another thing. Like, how are they gonna react to that? We don't know. We don't know. Although, if Nayuta turns back into Makima or evil or whatever, that kind of renders the whole situation at the very end of Chainsaw Man kind of, not pointless, but failed, right? Because Pochita wanted Denji to, you know, take care of Nayuta, the Control Devil, because the Control Devil wants a lot of hugs and be cared for. That is exactly what Denji is doing, at least, you know, as far as we can tell. Even though we cannot really tell, but as far as we are concerned, right? It would be interesting if she had vague flashbacks and start questioning what she is. Yeah, that's one thing that I want to see happen. It doesn't have to happen, but if it does happen, then it will be pretty interesting to see, right? Because it opens the idea and concept of reincarnation and what it means to be reincarnated, right? Do you retain past memories? Do devils remember their past? Right? Because the only thing that the devils remember, right, from like what we know is like the sounds of the chainsaws and whatever, but we don't really hear devils talking about their past lives, you know what I mean? If we restore the Blood Devil to power, let's fix up my boy Beam. Speaking of Beam, I'm pretty sure the final episode of Chainsaw Man is already out, and I will end today's current stream for the manga. Thank you all so much for joining in. Go watch the episode. It's the finale of Chainsaw Man. I'm sure it's gonna be hype. Chainsaw Man versus Katana Man. I don't know where they're gonna end it. Probably gonna end with the both of them kicking his balls. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Hope you guys enjoyed my discussions. Hope you guys enjoy the episode coming out. And I will see you all in about 30-40 minutes, where I will be watching the episode for the first time as well. That's pretty much it. Thank you all so much. Don't forget to hit the like if you haven't already. See you all in a couple of minutes until I go back and watch the episode with you guys as well. Talk to you guys very, very soon. Happy holidays. Take care. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.